To the town of Frost Hill walked a stranger one fine day. Was a New Vegas ranger, wouldn't be too long in town. In this town there lived an outlaw known as the Man in Black, and she was here to take him in, alive or maybe dead. And to do that, she is asking you, can you beat New Vegas Bounties with only a big iron on your hip? The rules aren't too dissimilar from Mitten Squad's New Vegas with only a big iron video. I must use a revolver, and I must only hip fire with it. However, rather than play New Vegas with only my big iron, as he already did that, I'm playing the 3 installments of New Vegas Bounties, a mod series created by Some Guy 2000. The Some Guy series includes more than just those with the Bounties name. It also has Russell, Bad Motherfucker, King of the Ring, New Vegas Killer, The Better Angels, and The Inheritance. But to avoid this being 2 hours long, I'll exclusively be playing New Vegas Bounties 1 through 3. So, the idea is to beat New Vegas Bounties 1 with only a 357 revolver, and after that I'll be beating 2 and 3 with the unique revolver added by 1, Sweet Revenge. With the rules out of the way, I start my life like all young women do. Ready to dispense justice. For my specials, I dispense them in a way that I usually do in casual playthroughs, or at least did before I just started cheating. Pour everything into intelligence, luck, and agility. Dump everything else, they don't matter. For tag skills, guns, repair, and speech. For traits, stable shot, and wild wasteland. After Doc Mitchell kicks me out of his house, I drop a bunch of mod items, then immediately steal Trudy's revolver. I then purchase a backpack from Chet, only for style points though. Backpack also adds carry weight, so I just remove that from my default stats to make up for it. I briefly pray to Bad Motherfucker, then start the run properly by picking up a note from a dead bounty hunter. The note details a job offer from Randall and Associates near Crim, so I mosey on through the door to accept the job from Randall. Randall sends me after Tom Quigley, a former NCR ranger who has since lost his mind after contracting syphilis. Currently, Quigley is hiding out near Hidden Valley, and search for Quigley in Hidden Valley. By the time I find him, Quigley is covered in rad scorpion stings, so I cut off his finger and return to the Randall, claiming that I killed him instead. My next target is an unknown caravan attacker. In order to discover who the attacker is, I have to talk to Albert Chestbreach over at the Big Horn Saloon. I take a shortcut through Black Mountain in order to get to Boulder City faster. By the time I get there, I only have 6 bullets left on account of super mutant and ant battles. It then took 10 minutes trying to get the Pip-Boy 2000 replacer mod to work because for some reason it wasn't. When I do get it to work, I talk to Chesty, who eventually manages to tell me where his caravan was attacked. I buy some more ammo from the gun runners along the way, because only having 6 bullets makes me a bit uncomfortable. Scour the ashes of the caravan and find a holotape, detailing the steamy love life of an Enclave remnant and his commanding officer, which also says, conveniently, that they're heading to a nearby Brotherhood bunker to steal weapons. On my way to the bunker, I have a scare with some fiends. It takes a whole lot of bullets and 2 stims to take them down, but I'm rewarded with enough XP to hit level 3, so I dump all my points into, what else? Guns. I reach Anoda, that's the Enclave guy, and swiftly bring him to justice, cutting off his finger and oh my god, that's a Deathclaw. Uh-oh. Oh, that's 2 more. I have 6 bullets again. Okay, well, so I die to the Deathclaws, obviously, and reload back to before confronting the Enclave guy, put him down again, and this time, don't stick around long enough for the Deathclaw to kill me. Randall is very pleased with my work, but then he calls me a psychopath when I ask him how fingers are enough evidence of a kill, saying that I should give him the target's heads or something instead. Wow, can you believe that? Well, in spite of that, he sends me after a new target, Eileen. Eileen is a prominent member of the Fiends. In order to keep the other Fiends afraid of her, she has a real knack for cutting off their penises with her knife. Which, like, sign me up? Or, no, never mind, she does it with her knife. Never mind, that would be terrible. In spite of it only being on normal, it turns out that using a not amazing gun with a really bad build and without aiming makes the game very hard. Who could have guessed? So I die, twice. Third try, I use a stealth boy to sneak past Eileen's entourage. 1 bullet isn't enough to kill her, so I have a bit of difficulty fighting her and her friends, but I eventually kill Eileen and take her finger as a trophy before she can take my something else as a trophy instead. With most of Eileen's posse chasing after me, I run far, far away until I'm far enough to return to Randall with the finger. Next up, Cullen. Cullen is the newest leader of the Jackals, and he's hiding in a building right near Randall. How convenient. When I leave Randall's, I have over 10 bullets. By the time I get inside the police station, I have 3. I use 2 on random Jackals, then run into the cell room where you have to go to get Cullen to spawn. I put my single bullet into Cullen's head, and he's left with the tiniest sliver of health. For about 30 seconds, I run circles around him, desperate to find 357 in one of the filing cabinets. As I enter the room with the cell again, I spot an ammo workbench and quickly form a plan. Mid-combat, I enter the ammo bench, scrap some 9mm ammo, and craft enough 357 to kill Cullen and take his finger. With Cullen's finger in my back pocket, I walk outside of his hideout and am met with a rival bounty hunter that's upset that I've been stealing all his bounties. I attempt to tell him that I'm not a bounty hunter, I'm a singer. But he doesn't believe me, so I have to kill him too. I return to Randall, who then sends me after Tony Idaho, a big player in the Mojave's coke business. Start my trek to Idaho, but stop in Novak, for I have a plan, Arthur. To start, purchase a room from Jeannie Mae, then I buy all of Cliff's ammo, and sell him all the trash I don't need. I sleep in my new room until night, when Boone is in the dinosaur. Taking a break from the Some Guy series, I do Boone's quest. Unlike last time, I'm actually able to send Jeannie Mae in front of the dinosaur, so when Boone shoots her, I loot her key, loot her safe, and then turn in the bill of sale. Boone rewards me with the first recon beret, which clips through my hair, but also gives me an extra bonus critical hit chance, which will be highly useful. I continue into Tony's bunker, where I push his guard to his limit, causing him to open fire. I shoot Tony's guard, then Tony, and steal his little friend, by which I mean his finger. Sadly, his 2 drug cooks die as a result of me killing him, but there's no way around that. I give Tony's chopper to Randall, who then sends me after Tommy, a former Omerta who broke the rules. While running to Tommy's hideout, I made the mistake of taunting some raiders on the opposite side of a fence, then got hit with reality when they broke it by phasing through the fence to keep chasing me as I passed through hell itself. Killed Tommy, stole finger, returned to Randall, new target, guy named Alex and Ghoul. Guy named Alex in Freeside who's been terrorizing locals. When I get there, I learn terrorizing means eating. He's a cannibal. I hate cannibals, so I shoot Alex in the yarbles and return his yarbles to Randall. Now, Randall learns me that some kids in Novak have been mysteriously dying in their sleep. It's my job to put an end to it. In order to do that, I go back to Novak and go for a sleep in my room. I wake up in the dream world, where I come face to face with Frederick and his Deathclaw gauntlet. In my dreams, I'm a wizard master, so I conjure a revolver, shoot him with it, and pull his finger out of the dream world, giving it to Randall as usual. Now he sends me after a location. No target again. The location, a bunker. Unlike Tony's, this bunker is pretty nice. I talk on the intercom I find, and the owner invites me to eat a nice meal. After eating, I ask him to let me out. Instead, he knocks me out and locks me in a cell. I wait a bit, and he tells me it's time for me to die. In reality, it's time for him to die. I squeeze past him and into his bedroom where he's hiding my gun, which I whip out and use to put 4 bullets in him. Randall's next fingered for me to collect is named Jack. Jack used to work for Heck Gunderson, that is, but now he does not. When I go to Good Springs, Jack doesn't exist, in spite of me being told he does. After a bit of trial and error, I learned that deleting the mod which changes the location of Tom Quigley fixes the problem, and I know what you're thinking. No, you can't just remove a mod mid-playthrough, it causes errors. Yeah, whatever, I don't care. This time, when I get there, Jack actually exists, meaning I can actually kill him and take his finger. Not that I do it right away, no, I actually have to buy more ammo from Chet mid-battle. But either way, I go back to Randall again. My next target is Kurt Gattil, another fiend who has since taken power in Eileen's day-long absence. When I get to him and start fighting, I panic a bit, since the truck I try taking cover behind is on fire. I manage to kill Kurt and take his finger, fleeing before his goons can finish me off or I run out of ammo. Next up, Chuck. Chuck is a deserter from the NCR that now believes he can join the Legion and get away with it. I enter Chuck's shack and observe that there is no sign of him, so I head back outside, and wouldn't you know it, Chuck! Like I was told, Chuck is with 2 Frumentari. I kill all 3 and take Chuck's finger, then I take his ear too. Next up, Billy Bogan. the CEO of a startup bandit crew. Like I dream of doing to most CEOs, I filled Bully with bullets, then cut off his finger. Next up, Dallas Medicine. Dallas is a former regulator, so not an Eastern regulator, a Western regulator, which is different and bad. He's in Westside. Or he was, until I shot off his head and returned to Rand. Oh no! Randall is missing, but in his place is a note stuck to the wall with a knife, telling me that Randall and Associates is done for. I turn around. A loser named Javier tells me that he buried Randall alive in the desert, so I intend on doing the same. When I'm done filling him with lead, I search his body and find the key to Randall's safe. In the safe is my new big iron, Sweet Revenge, and a note from Randall telling me that Judge Richter is responsible. Take my new gun for a spin, and my god, it is such a huge improvement over the 357. I very easily kill 4 fiends with 1 shot each, though granted, I missed my first shot on account of the fiend I was trying to kill teleporting. I really do love this gun. Even in normal playthroughs, I tend to use Sweet Revenge after finishing New Vegas Bounties 1. Just looks and feels cool. I know that technically, using this revolver with far more accuracy and damage may defeat the purpose of the original run, where St. Paul was committed to using a 357 the entire time, but sue me, huh? How about that, huh? Anyway, with new life in my beaten down system, I use Sweet Revenge to kill one of Judge Richter's goons for information on where to find him. I also take out Violet and Cook for good measure while I'm in the area. Fast travel back to Randall's, since it's close to where I need to go. Along the way, Oliver Swanick gets some new jewelry. When I enter the judge's bunker, he reveals that he did in fact kill Randall, seeing him as competition. I ask him about Marco, a man who Randall claimed killed his family. Randall's been asking me to hunt him ever since. And by ever since, I mean since when I read that note, and wants me to be the one to kill him with Sweet Revenge. Richter is evasive, to say the least, but offers me a job. I, however, loyal to Randall, refuse and instead kill the judge, which causes his men to die as well. I loot Richter's safe for 5,000 caps and leave the bunker. To celebrate my victory, I stop by the Big Horn Saloon. The bartender tells me that the NCR has set up a bounty hunting office in town within the past 3 days of me waking up, so I stop by and apply for a bounty hunting license. Larry, the manager or something, tells me I'm sure as hell licensed now, and puts me to work hunting bad guys. The first bad guy he sends me after is the Mongol Kid, a former con who has since started an offshoot gang, the Mongols, at Lone Wolf Radio. I fast travel to Good Springs, since it's close, and grab the wanted poster for Red Bear as well. When I grab it, a guy talks to me, saying that Red Bear kidnapped his niece, and he wants me to find her if I'm searching for Red Bear. Stroll on down to Lone Wolf Radio, where I find several Mongols patrolling about. I introduce them to the Swift Hand of Justice, then sleep for an hour when Mr. Kid shows up, then introduce him to the Swift Hand of Justice, in spite of his attempt to surrender. I cut off his finger and deliver it to Larry, then begin my search for Red Bear south of Jean, since I forgot to do so before returning to Larry. The search starts at a campsite, where I find a note on a bedroll, and as I'm reading it, a group of vipers sneaks up behind me and taps me on the shoulder, demanding I leave, then retconning this by telling me they're gonna kill me. I use my expert social skills to convince them not to do that, then follow Red Bear's trail that was detailed in his note. I take the path over the mountains, where I discover a nifty graphical error and a surprise location that'll help us later. I had an awesome long shot on Raider, then discover the encampment of one of Red Bear's pals, Slade. I kill Slade and his goons, it's my favorite word by the way apparently, then read about Doc Friday, a ghoul bounty hunter in the Short Stick Saloon located a convenient distance away. I talk to Doc, after he's done gunning down some clown, telling him that I killed Slade and that I'm looking for Red Bear. Doc tells me about Shadow Company, a mercenary company Red Bear has worked with. He points over to J.C. Denton, tells me more about this Shadow Company, and instructs me on how to sneak into their secret bunker. I sneak into the bunker guns blazing, killing all the fools between me and the safe at the bottom of the bunker. I have to kill a lot of shadows or whatever they call themselves, and have a few close calls with sentry bots, who decide to fight like cowards by using missiles and automatic weapons. But I get there, and find a convenient paper detailing a weapons deal between Red Bear and the Jackals happening as we speak. I fly over there to intercept, but I'm too late. The deal has already gone south. A guy with a mustache, Conrad, sneaks up on me and claims that he's hunting Red Bear as well and wants to help me. But if there's one rule I live by in life, it's that guys with mustaches are always liars. So I see through Conrad's lies, and he admits that it was a setup. I shoot Conrad in his dumb facial hair and find a convenient note on his corpse about where to go. The train station. I take a strange path to the station where I have to dispense justice into the ne'er-do-wells waiting for me. When they're dead, another ne'er-do-well runs out, asking what happened to Conrad. I explained that I killed Conrad, and then I explain in graphic detail exactly how I'm gonna kill this punk. I showcase this description by putting bullets in him, his mongrels, and the rest of his crew. Conveniently again, I find a note on his body telling me where to go next. I stop by the gunrunners again to grab more ammo, but I'm taking a note of it this time because I also had a heated debate on the merits of ballistic weapons over energy weapons with a Van Graff thug. Arguing with me was pointless. I knew I was wrong 10 minutes ago. I just wanted to piss him off. Anyway, when I get to the spot that Red Bear is actually supposed to be this time, I find nobody. I have the distinct feeling I'm being watched. I look to my feet, thinking I'll see a bug looking up at me or something, and see a note saying that I'm in somebody's sights. They shoot me and miss. I use a combo of my expert echolocation, my ability to see a muzzle flash, and the fact that I've played this mod before, just to find the invisible sniper, putting enough bullets in him to make him turn re-visible. I follow his note about Red Bear, and finally come face to face with the child of a man Red Bear killed. This kid tells me where I can finally, for real this time, find Red Bear. Up in the mountains. I walk up the mountains, kill some of Red Bear's people, and then learn about where Red Bear really is, hiding out with the cult. After killing the entire cult, I get soft-locked, as the message for me killing the cult leader continuously pops up, and I can't even load a save as a result. Epic! To circumvent this problem, I use a stealth boy and enter the room while sneaking, then steal the key to the leader's room. I go downstairs, but he follows me, having apparently detected me. Within an instant, I loot his safe for information on Red Bear's real actual location and scram before anyone can kill me. I head further up the mountain and come face to face with Red Bear, his captives, before finally coming face to face with Red Bear. Red Bear initially offers me one of his fingers in return for letting him go, but I inform him that death has come for him, evildoer, and I am its shroud. Red Bear goes down without much of a fight on account of him glitching out and not attacking me. The real trouble was when it came to his cronies in Mantis' army, as well as the fact that he blew up his captives, which sent me back greatly as far as health and limb condition go. I took out all but 2 of his aforementioned cronies, but I had to leave them alive on account of running out of bullets. I returned to Larry with Red Bear's paw. He immediately sets me up with a new bounty on a ghoul outlaw, or ghoul-tlaw if you will, named Rounder. Under the scorching desert sun and all the beautiful lighting it has to offer, I face Johnny Rounder and his posse. I, alone, live to tell the tale of the epic duel. 1 woman versus, 8 outlaws? Who's counting anyway? I return to Larry with Rounder's crispy finger. Now he sends me after a guy named Mr. Fisk, or Fisk's bunker at least. I find Fisk dead, with a harmonica in his mouth. On it is engraved SB. Strange. When I turn to leave, this nasty, vile, putrid guy threatens me, so I turn his head into paste and return to Larry with my new musical instrument. Larry reveals that engraved harmonicas are the Joker card of one Sergio Booth, brother of none other than the man in black, Marco. Knowing Sergio is my one shot at finding Marco, I set off to Valle del Hierro, a frontier town of outlaws Sergio is attempting to carve out. One of the other rangers at the bounty office scouted it out, and his lack of return worries Larry, so officially I'm only going there to look for him, not Sergio. As I walk through the shadow of the Valley of Iron, I encounter this outlaw town and start bringing them to justice. 1 shot per bandit is all I need to send them back into their grandpappies. I was born for killing bandits. If the father had wanted them to live, he would not have created me! I find Lieutenant's body outside of the outlaw's bar, all strung up like some kind of trophy. I try to take his dog tags to return them to Larry, but I find him strangely missing. I kill every single bandit in this town, purging their worthless lives from this stolen land, but eventually find Lou's dog tags in one of their pockets. I step outside of the saloon, and there he is. Sergio Booth. Sergio and his main posse confront me as I step out. I implore him to tell me about his brother. After all, there's not a chance he's taking me down. One day I will kill Marco, only a matter of time. Sergio refuses to answer. He also refuses to listen to my request for a one-on-one duel, opting to be a posse by fighting alongside his pussy. He has no idea who he's messing with. I delivered justice to all of these outlaws, taking Sergio's finger and harmonica as evidence that I, alone, walked out alive. I turn in the finger to Larry. I, however, keep the harmonica. Kinda makes me feel lucky. Strange. Sergio is dead. Red Bear is dead. The judge is dead. But still, I feel incomplete. The job's not done until Randall is avenged. Avenged in full. It's not over until Marco is gone. With no way to know where to find Marco, I carry on, day after day, quest after quest, or at least that's what I'm telling you, until one faithful morning, a courier delivers a letter from the man in black. Marco's caught wind of Sergio's death, and he's most certainly learned the name of the woman responsible. My name. All he wants is to talk. To do that, he's sent an envoy of sorts to Randall and Associates and asks that I meet him. Against my better judgment, I meet with this Virgil as described. Virgil reminisces over Randall's office. Eventually, we get to talking about what exactly Virgil wants. Virgil says he'll bring me to Marco, but first, he just has some business he'd like my help with. I agree to help him out, knowing that he's my only shot at reaching Marco. Virgil marks the location for me on his Pip-Boy, one of which he also has, out near Vegas. I meet him there. He explains that, after I killed Eileen, Cook, Violet, and Kurt, the NCR told people it was safe to move into the area again. A fiend named Troy, however, proved them wrong by terrorizing them. Virgil tries convincing me that it's my fault. I don't budge, knowing that I'm not responsible. He tells me to meet him at Troy's hideout in a sewer nearby. He berated Troy for not responding to any of Marco's messages in a timely fashion. Then for story reasons, I was forced to kill him. Virgil wanted to keep the party going, so he told me to meet him at Carl's Confectionaries in Freeside. Carl does not sell candy, he sells women. Virgil has a thing or two to say about that, and the discussion ended with Carl's body on the ground. The next place Virgil wanted to show me was the house of the Quigley family, the family of one Tom Quigley, who I killed many bullets ago. Virgil reprimanded me over the fact that me killing Quigley forced his widow to sell a child into slavery to avoid losing everything. But hey, maybe if Tom wasn't fucking killing innocent people, I wouldn't have had to kill him, right? Did you think of that, Virgil? I gave her some blood money, and Virgil tells me to meet him at Cottonwood Cove. Virgil tells me that Marco's had some dealings with one specific legionary against Caesar's will. This time, he doesn't make me do the dirty work, opting to shoot him on his own. Virgil tells me we can finally see Marco, and to meet him at the northern passages in the north when I'm ready. To prepare, I purchase or craft all the 44 ammo I can, collect various stim packs from one doctor, and purchase 2 implants from the same doctor. After 250 miles on the road, Virgil and I... Did I say Virgil? Oh. Virgil and I reach the outskirts of Frost Hill. He tells me I'm on my own from here, but before he departs, asks me if I have anything I want him to relay to Marco. I tell Virgil to inform Marco that I packed Randall's pistol, and that just like Sergio, I'll be using it to send him back to hell. Moments after Virgil and I part ways, a group of Marco's outlaws ambush me. I gun down 2 on my own, then out of the blue, an old friend comes to my rescue, Steve and Randall and Associates. I'm shocked to see Randall, given that I was told he was buried alive, but he clarifies that he was buried, sure, but all that happened to him was that he got ghoulified. He tells me to meet him at his nearby camp, and we'll discuss taking down Marco. When I get there, he immediately sends me after the first of Marco's crew, a man named Garza. Garza has been working as a scout for Marco for many years. I scoured around in a cave for a while. On 2 different occasions, I set off a tripwire that dropped a grenade on me. It really hurt. When I got to the bottom of the cave, I was swarmed by outlaws, including a super mutant named Bubba. They were all protecting Garza, and they were no match for me or my gun, and neither was he. After dropping Garza's finger on Randall's death, He sent me after Kicking Dog, a former white leg who is now using his white legs to kick dogs. That's not cool, so he needs to die. Kicking and his dogs rushed at me in yet another cave. They put up a good fight, and Kicking Dog was also there. I shot, but not kicked, all the dogs. Kicking Dog, however, punched me really hard. When Kicking Dog finally kicked the bucket, I was at 1 measly bar of health. I kicked up Picking Dog's finger and brought it back to Randall per usual. This time he sent me after old Bill. Bill was a renowned criminal, renowned for having what he believed to have a world-renowned mustache. As established earlier, anyone with a mustache is untrustworthy. Clearly, Marco was only working with the most vile of criminals if he was working with old Bill. I wouldn't be shocked to learn that Bill and his mustache were Marco the whole time. On my way into town to fight Bill, I encountered my greatest rival yet, the missing resource icon. For my next move, I meet Bill. I deftly defile Bill's mustache by pouring .44 caliber bullets into it. I kill Bill 2003 and his entourage, and take his mustache back to Randall as evidence. Next on the list is Oliver Doolin. Doolin's been working with Marco for almost 2 decades at this point, and it's my job to put a stop to it, of course. Russell tells me that Doolin doesn't have anyone else with him, which is great for me. I barge into Doolin's shack, gun at the ready, but he doesn't put up a fight. We talk briefly, but it all ends the same way, with a bandit's finger in my hand. I step outside, and it turns out Randall was lying. Doolin did have some underlings with him, and they all ambushed me at the door. They didn't stand a chance against me, so I returned to Randall unshaken. Next is Porter, a super mutant that's been keeping the people of Frost Hill intimidated. I pull up on Porter's cave, because where else would he be, and duel a Protectron that has a suspiciously high amount of health. That a unique name, but I'm not convinced that it was actually intended to be this strong. Whatever, it died like the rest. A rat stopped me from defusing a mine. That really pissed me off. Porter was in for it now. I dropped in on Porter and started shooting. Porter pretended to surrender after I shot his weapon out of his hands, but then he didn't listen to me when I tried telling him to leave Marco, so I was forced to shoot his giant finger off and return it to its rightful owner, Randall. Next up is a 2-for-1 deal. Did you hear that? A group of outlaws storms up into the camp, trying to take Randall and I out, surely. The 2 of us and Randall's other associates manage to fight them back, though 1 or 2 of us get turned to paste due to a missile. Randall gives me the reward for the bounty in spite of us having to go nowhere. Then sends me after Angel Lee, a master gunslinger on par with the likes of Doc Friday, or so I hear. I head back into town, back into the bar, and tell Lee to step outside with me. Lee is too cowardly to do so and instead just stands up and stares at me, so I do what anyone else would do in this situation and shoot him dead in the bar. Not like I'll have to clean it up. Next up, Randall sends me Ketchum's way. Ketchum is the leader of what Randall calls the Glory Hold gang. I sneak into the gang's cave, methodically disabling all of the traps in my path, which Randall thankfully warned me about. When I reach the end of the cave, I find Ketchum's crew, but they don't attack me. Their ringleader informs me that they have nothing to do with Marco, and that they killed Ketchum and only want to get out of here. I let them go and collect Ketchum's finger from his corpse. I exit the cave, but it turns out that the other bounty hunters came to back me up. Normally the hunters are supposed to gun down the crew. For some reason they're calm and don't execute them all. Weird, but cool. I drop Ketchum's finger on Randall's desk, freeing me from having to spell every C word with a K, and he sends me after Glanton. Glanton is a guy I never met in this playthrough. Normally you'd meet him during Russell's questline. I, however, did not play Russell, or the Inheritance, so I've never met this man in my life. When I do meet Glanton, he threatens to blast multiple children to bits with C4 if I make a move on him. I tell him to scram, go on and get, since I don't really want 6 kids to die. If I had the Terrifying Presence perk, I could have had his finger and freed them too, but I forgot to take it at this point, so whatever. I return to Randall empty-handed, but he understands I had to make a difficult decision here. With Glanton fleeing, it's time. The big one. We're going after Marco. While Randall rounds up his crew, he tells me to meet with Brookshire, the NCR representative I've failed to mention up to this point. I step into Brookshire's office, and he uses some kind of sleeping gas to knock me out. When I come to, I find myself gagged, tied up, and on my knees in the center of town. To my left, Randall. To my front, all the townspeople. Finally, the man in black reveals himself. Turns out, he and Virgil were one and the same all along. Looking back, I probably should have figured it out, given that Virgil was wearing black when we first met, but it's no matter. Marco reveals that Brookshire made him a legal sheriff of the new California Republic. His first act as sheriff is to shoot me in the hand. Then he orders his deputies to execute all the townsfolk. They have a really difficult time, since these are all his D-list deputies. So in order to not get softlocked, I just use console commands to manually kill all the townspeople myself. Marco's new right-hand man, since I killed anyone competent enough to take the title before, executed Randall out of jealousy, by which I mean I had to use... Oh man. Marco spouts some nonsense, knocks me out, then buries me alive. This fool, doesn't he know the definition of insanity? For the second time, I survived being buried alive, thanks to the only one of Randall's surviving hunters digging me up. He reveals that Marco's crew is still in Frost Hill, so I head into the town to hunt him down. I kill his second in command. He has a note on him saying that Marco has gone to bury Randall in Frost Hill's graveyard. I step into the valley, seeing Marco in the middle of the graveyard, having just finished burying him. I shout Marco's name as I step into the center with him. He turns, shocked that I'm still alive. Despite every rumor he heard, he made a fatal mistake in thinking he'd be the one that bested me. Like I told him when we came into this town for the first time, I packed Randall's pistol, and I was going to use it to kill him. I make the first move, and the second. He makes a few of his own. Something really strange here. Under normal circumstances, he should be tossing me around. I'm not fully certain how this boss fight works, as I haven't looked in the internal mechanisms or whatever, but what I assume is that Marco has a non-playable version of his gun, Old Scratch, which has the same quality of something like Blade of the East that allows it to ragdoll the player. This would also provide some explanation on why his gun isn't removed from his hand when you loot it. However, I do not have the Stonewall perk, and it is not happening. I had a really strange occurrence, as I kinda showed, with the whole execution and burial thing, where I had to use kill and resurrect commands to get it to work at all. I assume maybe this has something to do with it, but man, who knows. Anyway, after a duel of the ages, the man in black fell before me. All that tough talk, decades of tormenting the wastes, thousands of bodies in his path, and he died like the little bitch I knew he always was. I returned to Thorn, telling him that the deed was done. Together, we returned to the Mojave. Scarred as I may be, the answer is yes. I defeated the man in black using only a big iron on my hip. This process was a whole lot smoother than the previous run. I didn't lose any footage this time. Yay! I also noticed a lot of background noise in the previous, which I was not equipped to deal with. But you might notice the significantly reduced background noise this time. Want to know what I did? I moved my microphone away from the fan on my computer. That's it. That's all I did. Crazy. Abrupt ending.